Good morning students. In this video we will be seeing about the laser diode rate equations. So the rate equation is going to relate to the optical output power. So what is going to be the optical output power we are going to get out of the laser is going to depend upon the number of photons per unit volume phi to the diode drive current, or it is going to depend on the number of injected electrons per unit volume n. So here for active region, in the active region which is going to be having a depth of d, the rate equations are going to be given as d phi by dt is equivalent to Cn phi plus sp minus phi by tau ph, where this phi is nothing but a photons. So here in this case the photon rate is going to be given as the summation of a stimulated emission Cn phi, a spontaneous emission Rsp plus your photon loss. So photon loss is nothing but phi by tau ph, and the electron rate, the injected electrons per unit volume is going to be given as your dN by dt. So dN by dt is equal to J by Qd minus N by tau Sp minus Cn phi, where J by Qd is nothing but the current that is going to be got due to the injection of the charge carriers. So my N by tau Sp is nothing but due to the spontaneous recombination process we are going to get this N by tau Sp, and Cn phi is nothing but the current, that charge carriers that we are going to get because of the stimulated emission process. So here we call that C is nothing but the coefficient which is going to express the intensity of the optical emission and the absorption process. Rsp is nothing but the rate of the spontaneous emission into the lasing mode. Tau ph is nothing but the photon lifetime. J is nothing but the injection carrier current density. So here the threshold current density and the excess electron density in terms of the flux or in terms of the photon is going to be got as under equilibrium conditions. We know that d phi by dt is equal to 0. So under equilibrium conditions this d phi by dt is equal to 0, and the spontaneous emission is going to be a very small value compared to this photon stimulated emission, and what we are going to do is we can neglect this Rsp. So when I neglect this and when I am going to make d phi by dt is equal to 0, I will have that Cn phi minus phi by tau ph is equal to 0. That means Cn phi is equal to pi by tau ph. This phi will get cancelled. So your n is equivalent to 1 by C tau ph. So we can see that Cn phi minus phi by tau ph is going to be greater than or equivalent to 0. That means my n should be greater than or equivalent to 1 by C into tau ph. That is equivalent to nth. So we say that the n must exceed the threshold value nth in order for the photons to increase there. So here in this case this n value is nothing but the number of electrons should be greater than the threshold level for the photons to increase there. So here in this case, next is we are going to define the threshold current in terms of your threshold, that is your electron rate equation. So the threshold current which is going to be needed to maintain the steady state threshold condition of the excess electron is going to be found from the electron rate equation there. Under steady state condition dN by dt is going to be 0. So if dN by dt is going to be 0, I can write the expression as 0 is equivalent to a spontaneous emission is going to be there, but your optical loss is going to be reduced. So here in this case we can say that your Cn phi, we are not going to have any photon emission, we are going to have only because of the injection of the charge carriers and the spontaneous recombination. So we write is equivalent, 0 is equivalent to Jth by Qd minus Nth by tau Sp, where Jth is equivalent to Qd into Nth by tau Sp then. So in this case this is going to be Jth is nothing but the current that is going to be required to sustain the excess electron density in the laser when spontaneous emission is going to be the only decay mechanism that is going to be available there. So this is going to be the threshold current that is required to have excess electron density inside the laser when the spontaneous emission is going to be nothing but a decay mechanism there. So the laser operation can be done only beyond the threshold. That means the J should be greater than JTH. So we can write the solution of the rate equation, which is going to give the steady state photon density, is going to be resulting from the stimulated emission and the spontaneous emission there. So the solution of the rate equation is phi s is equal to tau ph by qd into J minus JTH plus tau ph into RSP. So this is nothing but spontaneous emission, and this term is nothing but the stimulated emission. So we say that the first term of this above equation is going to be the number of photons which is going to be resulting from the stimulated emission there. So the power in this photons from these photons is going to be concentrated in only one or fewer modes there. But in the case of your second term, you see that it is going to be due to the spontaneous generated photons there. So the spontaneous generated photons means, in that case, the power is going to be power from these photons are distributed all along these modes there. It is not going to be concentrated to one or two modes. It is going to be distributed over all the possible modes, the volume there. So in that case, we have in spontaneous modes emission, we have around 10 power 8 modes are going to be available there. So it is not mode selective, and the power is going to be uniformly distributed. Next is we are going to see the external quantum efficiency. So the external quantum efficiency is nothing but the number of photons that are going to be emitted per radiative electron hole per recombination above the threshold is going to be defined as the external quantum efficiency. So the threshold gain coefficient is going to be given as GTH. So the threshold gain coefficient is going to remain fixed at GTH value there. So we can write the external quantum efficiency is equivalent to your internal quantum efficiency into GTH minus alpha bar divided by GTH there. So GTH is nothing but the threshold gain coefficient there. So alpha bar is nothing but the absorption coefficient. So I can write this expression as Q by Eg into dP by di. So if I substitute this Q and Eg values, I will be getting the value to be 0.8065 lambda, that is in micrometers, into dP in milliwatts, di in milliamps. So in that case, my internal efficiency, internal quantum efficiency is going to be around 60 to 70%, but the external quantum efficiency is going to be around 15 to 40% there. So where eta E is the internal quantum efficiency, Eg is the band gap energy in electron volts, dP is nothing but the incremental change in the emitted optical power in milliwatts, and di is nothing but the incremental change in the drive current, and lambda is going to be the emission wavelength in micrometers. So this lambda is nothing but the emission wavelength in micrometers. Next is we are going to see the laser resonant frequencies. So under lasing condition, as we said, the magnitude and the phase of the returned wave should be same as that of the incident wave. So here we are going to take the phase of the returned wave, that is your e power minus j2 beta L should be equivalent to 1. So if I want this one, means we know that your e power minus j theta, you can write as cos theta minus j sin theta. So in that case, if I want this to be 1, means my cos term should be 1. So that means that 2 beta L should be equivalent to 2 m pi. So where m is going to take the values 1, 2, 3. So assuming beta, so from this expression if I am going to see, your beta is nothing but your 2 pi n divided by lambda. That is your beta, we know that it is 2 pi n by lambda there, the resonant frequency of the mth mode there. So I can write Vm is equivalent to mc by 2Ln, where m is equivalent to 1, 2, 3. So del V is nothing but the difference between the two modes. So difference between the two modes is nothing but C by 2Ln. So here in this case we can write it as m by 2Ln, that is C by 2Ln is nothing but into del V there. So here del lambda is nothing but lambda square by 2Ln, where C is nothing but V into lambda. The cavity is going to resonate when it is going to be an integer number m or of half wavelength spans the region between the two mirrors. That is, your cavity will resonate when it is going to be an integer number of the half wavelength there. Thank you.